you know that replacing quarterback from 2 years of the most experienced player in the country to whatever it's going to be less. What is that process with Dante and Austin specifically, and shifting from experience to less experience?
Yeah, it's been really fun so far. It's been fresh. It's been um, challenging at times in a good way. These guys, the good thing about them, Dante's in year two, Austin's in year three, Brock Thomas is in year three, Luke Moga's in year two. Even though Dylan had a lot of experience last year, which is invaluable, and played a great standard for us and Heisman finalist, all the stuff that you guys know, he was still in year one. So there was challenges in that aspect too for me and for our staff. But these guys have been professional from day one. They attacked us all season like champs, and I think through the first 2 days they've all shown a good understanding of our offense. And I think the sky's the limit for that group. I do feel like we have guys that are in there that can win games for us, and we'll figure out over the next 5-6 months who that guy's going to be running out against Montana State. But for now, they're all working their tail off and doing a really nice job.
What is it you like most about that group, I guess, between the years? You kind of touched on some of it. I'm just, it's a young group, but I'm just kind of wondering what that looks like in terms of being receptive to your coaching and everything.
Yeah, totally. It is young for sure in terms of experience. But Austin got the chance to learn from Bo when he was here. He's still really close with Bo. He's actually going to visit with him this spring break and hang around him. So he had great mentorship from Bo. And Dante and Luke and Brock and all that, and Brock got to hang around Bo as well. But all those other guys, were around Dylan last year and saw how he acted as a fifth-year player. And so they've all done a really good job so far of just keeping the main thing, just trying to grow every day, and not try to press. Anytime there's this type of hype around a quarterback competition, guys try to press, guys try to see, oh, this guy threw a deep ball and completed it in practice. Well, then I got to do it. I've just challenged them, just run the offense, just take each play as its own and do a good job with that. And again, they've done a really, solid job so far.
This group of quarterbacks is obviously very different in skill set than Dylan was. What is that difference, between all of them? What does it allow you to do in the offense? What does it kind of present for you as a whole?
Sure, we're still in the early stages of figuring that out. It's really just base install these first 2 days. But yeah, I mean, I've had Hudson Card at Lake Travis, who was a dual threat kid. At Frank Harris at UTSA, who was dual threat. Bo could run as well. Dylan. So they've all been different, but to me, they've all been uber competitive and been able to just distribute the football and be high completion percentage guys and have all been winners. So that's the ultimate thing I'm looking for is who can we win with, and hopefully we got a good amount of guys in that room that we can win. But we all know that there's going to be one guy out there on Saturdays, and that's all to be determined.
Back left, Matt.
Well, when you look at your board, you look at your position groups, just what stands out about this offense going into year 3 for you?
I think it's kind of all the same theme. We have, we added guys to our roster that had experience at other places, but not having experience in this offense and here at Oregon. So it's like a weird veteran team because there's not a lot of production, but there is guys that have played a good amount of football. So it's going to be a challenge to get guys ready to go by September, but I'm looking forward to it. I think we added depth where we needed to. Our running back room's deep. We have some kids at wideout that have shown the ability to make plays here at Oregon, but might not have the numbers that a Tez or a Trayshawn or Troy Franklin had. But I believe in them. I think they're really, really good players. Kenyon Siddique's one of the best players in the country. Glad we have him back. We have Poncho back at center. We added some pieces again on the offensive line that I think will be major impact players for us. But it's going to be a challenge and a good challenge. And I know all these guys are grinding every single day to be at their best. And, they're doing a really good job so far.
Left, James.
You touched on it there, Will, with the offensive line transfers specifically. You had guys returning last year, but it was a little bit of a mishmash throughout the offseason, and then the start of the season had a little bit of a hard time. For a unit that needs that kind of cohesiveness, what's the challenge when you bring in 3 transfers, experienced as they are, but they've got to learn calls and language and vernacular and also develop chemistry as a group?
Yeah. That's why I believe we have the best offensive line coach in the country in Malik Terry, and what he's done every single year since he's been here has been phenomenal and highly productive up front with our units. But the good thing about how we practice and how we prepare for our fall season, we get so many opportunities for walkthroughs and spring ball practices, and then we kind of rinse repeat in the summer and then have a whole new slew of practices in fall. So we get a lot of time, but time is ticking. So it is our job to make sure these guys are clued in and ready to roll. Our defense is, to me, we have the best defensive coordinator in the country that presents a lot of problems for us on a daily basis and challenges our rules. So it gives our kids a ton of different looks in a good way. We're not just playing base quarters every single snap. There's a lot of different looks for the offensive line, wideouts, quarterbacks, which does, again, it makes them develop at a higher speed of rate. So, that's what we're paid to do, is make sure these guys are ready to go by September. And, I believe we're going to get that done.
Front right, Zach, and then go right next to him.
Makai Hughes was obviously a coveted guy coming out of the transfer portal. What did you see in him from his tape at Tulane that made you want to get him? And on top of that, how important was that relationship that he had with Naeem and getting him out here to Oregon?
Yeah, we saw obviously lots of production in a league that I wasn't in, but Conference USA kind of grew into the American. And, the Tulanes, the Memphises of the world are a really strong program. So coming from Tulane, he played against really good competition in that league. He has great contact balance, good vision, has the ability to catch the ball in the backfield. So he's carried the ball a lot in college, which is, again, that experience will, to me, give him a definitely a benefit coming here. But that whole room's talented. I love where we're at with Noah. Jay Harris is coming along, Dink, Jade Lamar. Jordan Davison's doing some good stuff so far as a young guy. So it's a deep room. It's really competitive. Coach Samples does a phenomenal job, not just getting the players here, but developing them. And, I think to your point about Makai's relationship with Naeem, I think that's huge. Anytime you can have, siblings here together, you'd love to do it, especially if they're above the line players that can help us win a championship. So excited about Makai and what he can bring to this offense.
Stay here in front right.
Dan mentioned on Thursday that a lot of young guys have stepped up, not only in terms of performance, but also leadership. Have you seen that? And maybe if you have, who have you seen that from?
Yeah, I love, Pancho's finding his voice. He was an underclassman last year, but now to me, he's the anchor for us up front. And he's going on. He didn't necessarily start as a freshman, but he played a lot. So to me, he's almost like a 3-year starter for us. He's definitely one of our leaders. I keep challenging our quarterbacks to find their voice. We talked about being the conductor of the offense today and what that means and what I'm expecting out of them from a leadership standpoint. And we all know it takes time to develop leadership, and it starts with your actions. But, yeah, I believe we have the potential to have a lot of strong leaders on our team, and it's through this practice, through summer, through fall, and then through real games for them to really show. I would say Pancho right now currently is doing a really good job up front and really establishing that culture for us.
Two more. You're on the left, Eric.
Follow up, you said a moment ago that Kenyon Sadiq is one of the best players in college football. Where's that confidence come from? What have you seen to feel that way?
It comes from what he did last year, and that was obviously a really talented room with T. Ferg, with Kenyon, with Pat. So it's my job to make sure he's getting as many touches as we can every single game. He's put on, I believe, 15 pounds of muscle. He's nearing 250 and still looks the same speed. Has great hands. I think he's a better point of attack on the ball tight end than people might believe, just because he's so dang strong. And now he's got a great understanding of what we're doing offensively. So I think now he's really in the limelight. He is the upperclassman in that room. He's kind of the old head. Another guy, talk about leadership. Kenyon's somebody that I'm expecting to be one of those leaders on our team. He provides so much value in the pass game and the run game, RPOs. He's a very special player. I mean, I think I really do believe he's one of the best players in college football. So it's my job, it's our job to make sure he shows that ability this season.
Last question, back left, Matt.
You brought in Ross to coach receivers. What do you like about his qualities coming from Syracuse, and just what do you think his role is going to be with the offense, and kind of his impact he'll have on with you?
Yeah, I love Ross. I love if you put on the Syracuse tape from last year, everybody sees all the production and the passing yards. Yeah, that's great. Love that. But when you watch his players specifically, the effort which they play without the ball, to me, was really impressive. Their selflessness as a group. I know wideouts are kind of different birds at times. They all want the ball, and I love it. I want them all to want the ball, but what are they doing without it? And you saw Ross's groups; they're extremely connected. Again, they played really hard without the football. They run with the ball really well. And then he's coached in the National Football League, was with the Patriots, was their wideout coach. He's developed and recruited at a high level. And I think he's just a great culture fit for us, and excited that he's on our team and what he's going to bring to Oregon football over the years to come.